3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
The World Wrestling Federation. For over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh, it's live, pal.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Everybody 3 count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife.
You're too damn selfish, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
3 ain't enough now. I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
Oh my goodness, what do we do? There's a 1. There's a 2. Oh, wow.
Well, you can take that brass ring and shove it up your ass.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday, a special 3CT. We are live here on a Tuesday afternoon, not a Thursday night. We will not be live Thursday night. I lied. I said last week that it was going to be our last live show of the year, and it turns out I lied. Sorry, folks. You just get extra content for free nonetheless. How dare we? How dare we do such a thing? But it is Tuesday afternoon, December the 22nd, and we are glad to be with you. And if you're checking this out live or if you're checking it out on demand, we appreciate each and every one of our listeners. And we want to remind everybody that, yes, there will be no live 3 Count Thursday this Thursday night, but we got together on Sunday night apart, but together apart, as we have been. And we recorded a special 3CT holiday spectacular. We talk some of the best and worst Christmas treats. I got a little angry because the Miz had already unsuccessfully cashed in, so I had to vent a little bit. And of course, our holiday Christmas music draft. Everybody loves draft season. We do it a lot. We do it multiple times a year, and we did it for Christmas music. So you can look forward to tuning into that. We'll be premiering the episode on Thursday evening. As you get your final preparations for Christmas on Friday. So, Ryan, speaking of final preparations for the holiday week.
How you doing?
Jim, preparation is the right word, as in preparation H. This time of a year is such a pain in the ass. I'm a retail manager. I've been in... Oh, thank you. Too much. Retail for a long time. And we're at the point in my life where let's get to the holiday. Let's get it over with. I feel like I'm in the Christmas spirit as much as I'm going to be. Our draft, Jim, really set the tone for me to be in a good Christmas spirit, talking about Christmas songs, hearing a few samples play, hearing some songs I totally forgot about that I looked up later on. And I'm as in the Christmas mood as I'm gonna get.
So
let's get it over with.
Generally speaking, besides what you hear when you are at your store, are you much of a Christmas music listening guy? Like, do you throw it on in the car?
My store doesn't play Christmas music.
Oh, okay. So you don't hear it at your retail?
I don't hear it at my retail establishments.
Okay. So do you listen to it in the car? Do you listen to it at all?
I have to be in the mood It's usually when I'm rapping. Today I was finishing my rapping. I tweeted out or posted on the Facebooks moments ago. I was finishing my rapping, and I put on the Bing Crosby Christmas album on the old turntable. Something about just that feeling, like setting the record, dropping the needle, and just wrapping Christmas presents really got me in the mood this year.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I generally do, but this year, obviously being at home, like I generally start listening because I have podcasts and things going at work usually all day, and generally I'll start a little bit. I'm not listening to it all day, but usually even before Thanksgiving I'll start dabbling into the Christmas music. I've hardly listened to any this year, I'll be honest. I mean, if we go to get takeout or we go to get groceries or something, it's on in the car. I've listened to a little bit, like just at home, like listening to music, and but I haven't nearly listened to what I normally do. It is what it is. Like, it's just
2020.
Yeah, sure, exactly. But the final, this will probably be, I don't foresee anything that would warrant a live show on an afternoon next week.
But who knows?
Or any sort of a watch along. So quite possibly this will be our final live broadcast of 2020. And why not? Let's talk about the WWE's final pay-per-view a little bit of 2020. TLC, of course, this past Sunday night. We were recording while watching it, so I had to go back and rewatch some things. Overall, the show was the show. I didn't necessarily love it. I didn't necessarily hate it. I don't think there was anything really to hate except for the Miz's unsuccessful cash in. I just I still I was just kind of ranting on Sunday when we were recording. But Ryan, I don't get it. I don't get you taking what was the Money in the Bank on Otis to then switch it in an angle, because now why won't that happen every year? And then the Miz, first off, cashing it in during a TLC match to make it a triple threat, and then unsuccessfully cashing it in. Like, I understand that I guess the purpose behind it is to make Drew look stronger, but in the same time, it makes Miz look like, and I get, like, they kind of are playing the card up that it was Morrison that cashed in and he can't cash it in for me. But like, and maybe because I guess they're just making things up with the Money in the Bank. Maybe it'll end up back on the Miz. And he'll get to cash it in again at some point anyway. But like, to me, it just makes Miz look stupid. Like, it hurts the Miz. It doesn't necessarily, like, for whatever it helps Drew McIntyre, I think it hurts the Miz more.
Jim, what I think we're seeing is, I truthfully do think we're going to see the briefcase back with the Miz again, and I think the Miz will somehow lose again, but we'll get the briefcase back again.
Sure,
and it's going to be shades of what we saw with our presidential election. I really think that's what the WWE is trying to do here with the briefcase. He can't cash it in for him. Right. All right, let's give it back. We'll try. And I may be totally wrong. This is just a feeling of what I think we're going to see. And him, I didn't lose. I just didn't lose. We need to try it again. They'll do it 3 or 4 times. He'll officially lose. The only other way I can make sense is
the small loan of $1 million.
It's the first time that we've seen it ever change hands in a match after it being won. That it would be too predictable if it changed hands and the person cashing in won. It would just be too predictable. So we're going to switch it. He's going to lose it. The cash in was never going to be successful. So what does it matter who cashes it in?
Does this, and I mean, Money in the Bank's always kind of been one of the more fun things in the year.
Sure.
So now this year you saw the women's Money in the Bank basically just become a title match.
Yep.
And now,
not even just given away. Oh yeah. I hear what you mean. Yes.
One
yes.
and the belt was inside the briefcase, which, like, I mean, you would think if the belt was in the briefcase, it'd be like, this is a heavy contract.
Sure. Yes.
But then, the men's one, then it changes hands and ends up being lost. So, I mean, I don't want to say that both ones were meaningless, quote unquote. But like, this is a pretty down year for the Money in the Bank.
But they were, yeah. They really were.
And I don't know. I don't know at what point they knew that Becky was pregnant and this is the angle that they were going to take with it. But like now looking back in hindsight, because at the time I kind of defended, I was like, this is actually kind of cool, the way they did this, and then that Otis one. But now in hindsight, I'm like, maybe Becky should have just made the announcement, beforehand, and then, that there would have been some sort. And I guess they were getting kind of tournament heavy in NXT. So
that's the other option is you make a tournament, right?
So, or just. Yeah, I don't know. Do maybe do a battle royal where the final two had a match then for the title, and then everybody else on the women's roster, gets a shot, for the corporate ladder cinematic match. I don't know. It's just now in hindsight, the men's one has kind of soured the women's situation for me a bit.
That's fair.
The way everything played out. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to be excited when Money in the Bank rolls around again next year, because it is always a fun thing. The matches are always fun. Hopefully by that point, that's usually May, June. Hopefully by that point, things will maybe start looking a little bit normal. And then, and I wouldn't be opposed to another corporate ladder cinematic match if they're not, to give you another change up of scenery, something like that. But yeah, I think it's unfortunate the way that, the cash-in ended up working out. I mean, I thought the match with Drew and AJ was fantastic. Really up until that point, I thought it was one of the better opening matches, probably one of the better TLC matches that I can really stick out in my mind. In the last couple of years, I thought it was a fantastic match.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the match was fine. I don't know. It's just. Yeah,
it's one of those ones where the ending sours it for me. Like
it really, unfortunately, it doesn't. It didn't need.
No,
that didn't need. Here's the deal. Again, why would you ever cash in when you did? Why would you not wait till the end? Sense. It's mind-boggling that mistake happened. I mean, I guess we saw Seth Rollins do it successfully at 31.
Yeah.
With Brock and Roman, so
right. Which, I mean, that's at least in a normal triple threat situation. Like you would think with like a TLC where it's like carnage and wreckage, and it's going to take forever for these guys to recover, and then
weapons and
you can even play it all if you don't want to hurt Drew. Like even if Drew wins and he's got the busted up knee in the match, and that's been the story throughout the match. When he loses to AJ, or when he beats AJ, have AJ snap, attack Drew with the ladder, bust up his knee some more, hit him with the phenomenal forearm, lay him out. And then all of a sudden Miz comes in and just cashes in.
Right.
Like,
doesn't AJ have a submission?
Yeah. The calf crusher. Put
him in the calf crusher. Don't let go. Referees come down. There's plenty of referees there. Then cash in at that moment. It's just silly.
It's goofy.
And again, I don't expect everybody that ever wins it to cash in and successfully do it, because then that's a dumb gimmick.
Right.
You have to have some people lose.
Right. But for me, if you're gonna do the Otis to Miz thing,
that's fair.
Then it should mean something come cash in time. If you're
that's fair. This one just felt so mid-cardy. Like.
Yeah,
I didn't believe The Miz is a true competitor to Drew McIntyre right now. I think if you put the two side by side, you go, "Oh,
Money in the Bank."
Okay.
Like if you don't look at Miz and go, he's kind of goofy, he's kind of silly, he's not going to be the guy who's going to knock Drew off. That's where the money. That's the great equalizer.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's why I was totally fine with it being on Otis. Like. And
Otis is a big boy. He's hard to put down.
I mean? Like if if you're gonna put it on a guy that like doesn't you want to try out him being like a main event guy, then you do that. Then you put it on that kind of guy because that is the great equalizer. But again, also if you're gonna have it be a failed cash in, which is fine, why move it? Why make it a story? I get they were trying to fill things and they're trying to do their best given it given the unreal year. But yeah, once you moved it, I felt like it had to be a successful cash in for me. Not going to really go every match. If there's one, we're obviously the big thing is we're getting
only four more, I think.
Sasha beats Carmella. I thought the match was pretty good.
Okay, yep.
Carmella, I don't think was ever going to win this one. The Hurt Business picking up the Raw Tag Team titles. I love it. I love them getting more gold. I would have loved it. I think no, we didn't see this match. We've seen it on Raw so many times that I was like, I just kind of lost track of how many weeks we had seen it. Charlotte returns. Charlotte wins gold. Not much of a surprise.
Not much of a shock here. Nope.
Match was fine. I'm actually more intrigued by the fact that last night on Raw, they actually featured the women's tag team division.
What?
Multiple times. So like, if it takes Charlotte getting a title, getting the title to really get them to focus on that, it's a shame it took this long, but cool.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about Raw and where they screwed up with the Iconics, and it's just, I mean, we have to have a women's competitor with 2 belts. It needs that. They can't stop themselves, can they?
Nope.
They don't know. They don't know what else to do. Like, why?
Right.
There's no need
so
for
many
this.
women. So many women on the roster.
Right. You have another like legit tag team in the Riot Squad. You have the blonde. What are they calling themselves?
Oh,
they should probably have a nickname.
Dana and Mandy.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought they had. No, I think it was like the Rant Foundation I forget what they had called them. But yeah, give them an actual name.
Right.
The Blonde Warriors, because why not?
Blonde Warriors.
Tim would love that. Tim would
Right.
absolutely love that. He said, "I want everybody to be a warrior." I believe is
The
what
Blonde Warriors. It
he
is.
said on the Final Wrestling Place. Again, go check out that Tim and Marcus on Final Wrestling Place. I think Tim said he loves Bruce Pritchard and everybody needs to be a warrior. I think that's what he said.
I've heard they've also adapted their Shane McMahon gimmick over there too. That's what they've done. He loves it.
Heard that. Yeah, and it's fine. I
don't blame him.
People should adopt that gimmick.
They should.
And then the final regular match on the card, Roman Reigns defeating Kevin Owens, TLC match. I thought this one was really good as well. Again, lather, rinse, repeat. Everything they're doing with Roman is just so fucking good. I saw the great picture, and it goes back to like the thing you brought up on the show a couple weeks ago about things that happened in 2020 that you couldn't believe actually did.
Oh yeah.
And it was one of those like how it started, how it ended, and like or where it's at now, and it like showed like Roman doing the dog food thing with Corbin, and now him being what he is, and I'm like, I still like I know it was in January, but I can't believe that was actually in the year 2020 that angle happened.
Seems like forever ago.
My God, forever ago. And yeah, go ahead.
This is what we've always wanted. This is what we bitched and moaned about with Roman Reigns for a while. And I think the WWE's fear is we're going to turn Roman and everybody's going to cheer for Roman. And I don't think people are necessarily cheering. But I think smart wrestlers or fans like yourself and I saw what Roman could be.
Yes.
As a bad guy. Like, we get it. You're shoving him. He looks great. He's $1 million. He's what you want to see as what Vince pictures as the epitome of a champion.
Yes. That's good shit.
You can have that and just flip it on its, like, we wanted it with John Cena. We never got it.
Right.
We're getting it with Roman Reigns, and I appreciate it so much. It makes me appreciate Roman's body of work much more now that we're seeing this version of Roman Reigns. I don't know why the WWE seems so hesitant. So we saw Brock kind of flip back and forth, heel, face. We've seen Kevin Owens do it. But why they were so hesitant on Roman Reigns. And this is so good. Imagine if we never got this. If it was just like
he just eventually comes back and,
does what he does.
Chest plate and everything, never freeze the nipple.
Always free your nipples.
Always. Yeah, I mean this is the Roman. This is what we wanted. This, I don't know if it was 100%, that I definitely envisioned it this way, but like I envisioned him being like a badass, like, and that's what he is. Like that's Roman Reigns. Like,
right?
That's what we've all wanted, and thank God they finally did it. And horrible that it took, a pandemic, because again, it's a controlled environment. You can keep in crowd noise. You can encourage people to boo. They're kind of playing along. And
maybe that's why I think it's working so well. Maybe if there were live fans, people would actually be cheering this. I wouldn't. I'm okay booing bad guys and cheering for.
Yeah, faces. I mean, like, here's the deal. Like, I used to be the guy that would sarcastically clap for like the blue blood Triple H. Like,
sure.
Yeah. But like this is a strong enough angle that you boo this one. Like,
I agree.
Don't be that guy that, like, as much as you're like happy that we're finally getting this, don't be the guy that like ruins it. No, we'll get to people ruining things before we go off the air. But before we hit the Inferno
Iron Man dies.
Because before we get to the Inferno match, and it kind of ties into a segment on Raw last night, want to remind everybody our show through NGSC Sports is brought to you by Arena Eats, the Arena Eats app, arenaeats.app. Look, eventually, be it May, June, September, next December, at some point, we are going to be back in arenas. We're going to be back at concerts. We're going to be back at wrestling shows, sporting events, and all of that. Nobody is going to want to miss out on any of the action. So the best thing to do beforehand is get the Arena Eats app. Arenaeats.app is the place to go. And what's going to happen is you're going to be able to order food while you're coming in the building. You can just stop off and grab it. You can order food while you're standing in line at the bathroom. You can order food while you're sitting in your seat. You don't even have to get up. How great is that? Because especially for guys like us, like most arena seats not built for our fat asses. We don't like to get up and down. You can give me an app that I can just plug away. They're going to bring it to me. I don't have to get up. Hello. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now, if they can only find a way to build a toilet into the arena seat, but I think we're a long way off from that one. But arenaeats.app is your place to go, and that will be a fantastic addition to live shows and live wrestling and live sports when those things start to get back online.
Yeah, Jim, I never really even thought about how impactful this app's going to be for wrestling shows.
Right?
If you've been to Raw, doesn't have an intermission. Raw doesn't have halftime.
No.
It's not the end of a period at Raw. I mean, there are commercial breaks, but those are TV commercial breaks, and we're back real quick.
Bathroom or concessions,
if you're lucky.
Exactly.
This app is going to change the way I live entertainment.
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
All right. So then, Ryan, it went to the Firefly Inferno match.
I turned it off. I missed it. I had to go to bed.
You didn't watch this?
I didn't see any of it.
You're lying.
I had to go to bed.
Don't you bullshit me. You had to.
It was bedtime. Jim, it was getting too late.
Randy Orton burned a guy alive in the middle of the ring. I had no clue what to expect with this match. I was definitely skeptical when we're sitting here when we were recording, and I'm like, wait, this is just in the ring? Why is it going on last? And then all of a sudden, like, outside the barricades, there's fire bombs everywhere. And then
I think Bray actually motioned for something. Like, I think it was Bray that controlled that.
Yeah, he controlled it. And then Bray gets set on fire himself on the back. And then they come back in the ring, and then all of a sudden Orton hits him with the RKO, and then literally just lights him on fire. And I was
Jim,
like,
he was burning.
Yeah, the whole lot of them. And I'm like, wow, did not expect that to happen. We've seen these, and I want to like give props because I saw people go, why is Randy, why is he wearing a hoodie and pants? Well, because if he's gonna get lit on fire, and I get it, like maybe it's it's he would have been smarter to not, I guess, but like if you're gonna get lit on fire, I'd rather have like my sleeve lit on fire than my crotch, because normally he just wears trunks.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why you went crotch right away.
Right, because he wears trunks, knee pads, and boots.
Right.
So, like, if I'm going to get lit on fire, I'd much rather have it be here than...
Here's the deal. If I'm wrestling in a match that has to do anything with an inferno, I'm trying to cover up as much as my skin as I can.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
Whether
Exactly.
that will end up melting and burning me more, I don't care. I don't want my flesh caught on fire. I'm covering up.
Exactly. So
we saw him the next night on Raw in a hoodie and like longer short pants.
Yeah, shorts, yeah.
So like, get over yourself.
Yeah, but like I would
let something breathe for a fucking minute or a day, maybe.
Orton for it was just I thought it was a smart play, gear wise.
I would have done it. Heck yeah.
Exactly. Cover it up. So, I mean, first of all, I loved the way the show ended. I did not expect that. I don't know if Matt saw it coming or not. I personally didn't. And I thought it was a great way to end the pay-per-view. A lot of questions.
Tons of questions. I think Randy Orton winning was predictable. I think the Fiend character would gain more being caught on fire.
Like, I had predicted the Fiend, but it didn't necessarily surprise me, and it wasn't like I didn't get angry that the Fiend lost.
Right. Here's the deal. We've seen, 2 Inferno matches in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
One saw Kane get his arm lit on fire and him run to the back immediately. The next, we saw Bray Wyatt's entire back get engulfed in flames.
That's right.
He slid into the ring and took an RKO.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's maybe safety. I don't know what happened, but they didn't look like CGI flames.
No, that looked like
that looked like he was legit on fire. Those might have been working flames, but they're still flames.
Right.
Took an RKO, and then obviously something happened. Orton slid out of the ring, which gives plenty of time for things to happen in the ring. I'll keep kayfabe alive as much as I can here. For him to come back and engulf the Fiend.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. I love the people that are like, it's a dummy, guys.
Well, no shit.
No kidding.
Oh, you mean Randy Orton didn't commit murder?
Right, like he didn't murder William Rotunda?
Are you... Wow.
Shocking.
What I'm worried about are the deathmatch folks that are seeing this thinking, okay.
we can light a guy on fire. Cool.
I've seen fire, panes of glass, shit like that. It happens in the independent scene. This, I've never seen anything like this.
No,
The first thing I thought was a while ago, Vince McMahon saying, "We make movies, pal." And that's what we just saw. And don't act like it's the first time you saw somebody die on the WWE TV. Two people got launched off the roof in a match we were talking about 15 minutes ago, Jim.
Guys get thrown off a roof. We've seen a limousine explode.
Rey Mysterio's eye got popped out of his face this year.
Literally popped out of his skull.
The Undertaker gets buried alive. How many times?
So many times. Yeah, and that's another thing. People are like,
AJ Styles was just buried alive this year.
He was buried alive this year. Yeah, I've seen so many people say like, "Oh, the Fiend's dead. They buried him. They lit him on fire. Like, he can't come back from this."
Paul Bearer?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Undertaker's come back from literal death so many times.
Right.
So many times. Like,
his casket's been he ascended to heaven.
Yeah. The first casket match. He ascended.
His soul ascended to heaven.
Out of the screen it came up. By the way, I'm wearing my Out of Nowhere shirt just for you.
It's appropriate today. Appropriate.
And then
the Fiend's not dead.
No, people are ridiculous.
And so what if he is?
Right.
So what if he is? Maybe we get some really cool. Are we done with the pay-per-view?
Yeah, we're done with the pay-per-view.
Maybe we get some really, really cool, really deep Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouses where he thanks Randy Orton for killing the Fiend.
Right. The Fiend is like basically haunted Bray this whole time.
So we get a month or two of Bray Wyatt, like, thank you so much. And Orton's doesn't make sense. Like, Orton thinks Fiend, Bray Wyatt, like they're one. And then something darker, something more
Then we
comes.
go to last night. Like, we go to Creepy Alexa, which...
And then we go to Raw. Let's talk about Raw.
We can get more of Creepy Alexa on a swing set. We all win there too, right? I mean, like, and she basically said, like, he could be here. Like, and she's talking to something on the other swing.
Right.
Like, when she's talking about he could be, and she keeps looking at the empty swing next to her as if there's something there with them.
Maybe something we just can't see yet because we have not let him in.
And she even said, like, if he comes back, like, it's going to be worse than anything you've ever imagined. Like, so maybe the Fiend, as we've known him to be, is done. And we get something else. I mean, I'm sure Tom Savini with the Hollywood shutdown would have no problem crafting a new mask for Bray Wyatt.
You know what'll be crazy? When he comes out with the lantern with the Fiend face on it
instead of the Bray Wyatt face.
Come on, guys, just let it breathe.
I know. And it's like I loved the end of this match. I loved that segment. Because when Randy's out there talking, and I even love the Orton promo. Like, I thought, like, it's just like this, like, kind of sick. Yeah, I did it. I don't care. Like, the fact that Randy Orton, I mean, sans lighting a guy on fire, but in this entire thing, Orton has been the heel. Like, in that Bray and Alexa, the Fiend have been the face. Like that,
sure.
That in of itself is an impressive thing. And like, they're actually somewhat creating sympathy with this monster. It's fantastic.
So
like,
good.
It is just so good. I love the segment last night on Raw, and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here. Like, everybody wants to talk about, like, give me a reason to watch. If that's not a motherfucking reason to watch, and I get you have to do more than one program, but like, to me, in and of itself, I'm waiting for Raw next week.
But isn't that what makes people watch in any way? Isn't that what makes mothers watch soap operas? Is they get stuck into a program, into the storyline. It can only be one of multiple storylines, because if you ever seen a soap opera, there's not just one storyline being told.
Sure, absolutely.
That is a spider webs of story. It takes one to hook you.
Yeah,
Name any show ever. One. That's all it takes.
Dude, we've been watching old sitcoms, and we went through all of Step by Step. We've started on Family Matters, and I'm amazed how quickly Family Matters went from the Winslows to the Steve Urkel half hour.
Right.
Like it happened. It happened like within the first halfway through the first season. It morphed into the Urkel show. It really did. Like, I mean, obviously you still have, what's happening at Rachel's place and what's happening, but the primary reason you were tuning in to Family Matters became Steve Urkel.
Here's the deal. There was a Monday Night Football game on last night. I was in the mood to watch football. There was one reason I watched Raw last night, and that was the fallout from this match.
Yeah.
Not that Charlotte came back.
Like, I was aware of what was going on. We were watching a Christmas movie, then I was watching football. But like, when I like, they kind of teased that Orton was coming up next, my ass went to Raw, and I never went back.
What Christmas movie did you watch?
We watched The Santa Claus last night.
Oh, okay, Tim Allen.
The Tim Allen one, yeah.
It's a great one.
I don't know that I've ever even seen the other ones.
I feel like I saw the second one.
They're not great. I've heard they jumped the shark pretty hard.
I believe that
on those. But yeah, I wasn't watching Raw from the beginning. I'm aware of some of the other stuff that happened. But yeah, this segment, this match, all of it just absolutely was really, really good. But I want to talk a little bit about Raw, and we heard last week that it was the worst ratings ever, and this and that, and then this week, what do? They announce that in 2 weeks it is Raw Legends Night, and immediately the groans from the internet community that is so concerned with ratings. And how many times have we talked about on this show that unless you're a shareholder or you're a TV executive or an advertiser, that those numbers truly should really mean nothing to you. Like you can
that is your opinion. Don't put that on 3 Count Thursday.
What do they mean to the everyday fan, truthfully?
I think it is a fair measurement of what people are watching, of what people want to see.
But it doesn't. I guess my point is like the rating number doesn't equate to whether or not the show is good or not. I think it is more like,
I don't know. Was last week's shows that good?
I don't know. I haven't. I honestly.
There was other stuff. Again, here we're in the middle of Monday Night Football. We're nearing the playoffs.
It's always the dead period for wrestling. It's
always have been. Everybody, we always bitch about this.
Yeah,
time of year. It does.
And it's again, this year I feel is particularly worse because we're already in a point of transition where more people are going to streaming services like, Hulu Plus Live TV, YouTube TV, Pluto TV, whatever. And then this year, because of everything that's gone on, I know a lot of people that have cut out cable service because they don't need. They still have to pay for internet, but you don't necessarily need that extra $130 cable bill or what have you.
You're not wrong.
So like, and also there's a lot of people who are generally sports fans that haven't watched this year because there's no crowds. The people who love wrestling that haven't watched as much because there's no live crowds. Like there's been weeks I haven't watched, Ryan.
It's easy for me to not tune in. It was always like, oh man, it's bummer I'm missing wrestling tonight. It's okay. I guess I'm not watching wrestling tonight. And that's like how my mentality has changed in this time.
There was like a 2 or 3 week period where I hadn't watched. I watched all of last week's show. I actually really enjoyed last week's show. And I feel like it was partially because I hadn't watched for about 3 weeks.
Step away and how good it feels to come back.
Like,
yes.
It's the same concept to like when you do a cleanse, like if you do a cleanse, like for your body, like if you do like
okay.
Well, this is what people have told me. I've never.
Okay.
But like it's that theory of like, if you kind of remove something from your habit, and then when you go back, you will kind of replenish all of that. So like the point I try to make is like, if you're this angry watching wrestling, if you dislike it that much right now, just you can take a break. It's okay.
Sure.
Like it's truthfully okay. But like for the most part, I truly think that like these numbers for a lot of people don't really know what they mean. And they're just comparing it to a period of time that we will never get back to.
Oh, we're never going back to the Monday Night Wars where you're having 6 million people tuning into each show.
Even if like wrestling, if all the stars aligned, everything started going well. Like just those numbers in general, the people don't have cable the same way. People don't consume content the same way. So like if wrestling gets back to like you might see 3 million.
Even that's a lot for a niche program.
Right. I mean, like it just, even Super Bowl ratings, although they've been able to kind of calculate streaming like the actual Raw TV numbers, I think haven't been as high like the last 1 or 2 Super Bowls. So like, it's just how it is. But anyhow, so the people that are so consumed with ratings week to week are now mad that the WWE is doing something to pop a rating number. Now I get it. It is going to be a 1 week fix if they don't do something on that show to hook people that might tune back in. But it's like one of my frustrations, and like this will be we'll close on this. But like, this is just like one of my frustrations with a like the wrestling Twitter and like wrestling internet community, because like you get mad when the ratings are bad for whatever reason. I don't personally understand. I don't like. I mean, I will see what they are, but they literally mean nothing to me. But then when WWE does something that's going to make them have a good rating, then you just find another thing to be mad about. And which always goes back to my thing, like maybe it's time to reconsider if WWE is like really your thing anymore. And it's okay if it's not. If you want to just be like an AEW Impact guy, cool. If you just want to be an NXT guy, cool. But like I sometimes it just I don't understand, Ryan.
And that's okay. You can walk away. Like,
yeah.
Let's. It's not like the first time the WWE's ever done this.
Right. I was at the first Old School Raw. That was in November of 2010.
So that's like in the down period of the WWE.
Yeah.
Old School Raw, yeah, November 15th at Hershey, Pennsylvania. They've done the King of the Ring in that year, in November. The Slammy Awards are usually in this down period of time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's nothing. I don't know. I'm looking through. I'm just trying to see Raw 25, January 22nd. That's to pop a rating. Ugh. It is. Come on, guys.
Like you want to?
I'm looking through a list real quick. Raw Reunion was in July.
Yeah, that was in July. But it's like, but again, you're trying to hook people to get into SummerSlam at that point.
Edge Appreciation Night was January 2020. Nobody said that was to pop a rating.
Right. Like it if you like, you can be mad at WWE. That's okay.
Sure.
But like, be mad the right way, like for the right.
I don't think you can bitch and say WWE's trash. Look at their ratings. Their ratings are shit. The WWE does something. You don't have the right to then bitch about what they're choosing to do.
Right.
To pop a rating. Yeah, it's to pop a rating.
Of course it is.
That's all it is. Nobody wants to see, no offense, Sergeant Slaughter, week in and week out on WWE programming. See him once. Oh, that's the other guy. That's Hacksaw. But you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like have him come in, do his stuff. Ron Simmons will be in the back. Damn. And we move on.
Yeah.
And more people will watch.
Hogan's gonna brother. Ric Flair's gonna, just.
And people are gonna tune in, and the rating's gonna be great for a week. But what you're not going to see is former Universal Champion tweet about how Raw beat AEW in the demos and the ratings that week. That's what you're not going to see.
Yeah. It's like, again, it's to me, it's always been about consistency. You want to be mad. You want to dislike WWE. You don't want to be happy with the product. That's fine. But if you're going to complain about the ratings, if you're going to complain about that number each and every week, don't be mad when they do something about it.
It's simple,
because that's what it is. That's what they're doing. That they're trying to change that number. Again, will it be smart of them if they provide a pretty damn good hook that week to try and get people to stay attached?
Sure.
Absolutely. But another thing to think about too is 2 weeks from now, you've cleared Christmas, you've cleared New Year's. What's 3 weeks after 2 weeks from now? The Royal fucking Rumble. And the start of WrestleMania season. So maybe they're trying to kick you into gear.
Look at that.
There's a reason why these Legends nights happen this time of year.
Now, I don't want people to confuse what the WWE is doing with what AEW is doing with Sting. They're bringing Sting back. He's in a program, or will be in a program, will be regularly featured. This is a one night to pop a. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think the WWE would ever say this isn't to not pop a rating, because it is.
It is. It is exactly what it is.
It's what it. Why are you so upset about it? It is what it is.
It's
of course it is.
Absolutely. Ryan,
why would you get upset, like angry upset about that?
yeah, I truly don't know.
Like it doesn't commute. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does. It's
let them do it. Don't tune in if you don't like it.
Exactly.
But also just be aware. I mean, I just said what I said about AEW, but AEW just brought back Sting.
Yeah. For not just one night.
Right. You think Sting is there because he's a spring chicken and he's a young superstar hungry to... No, Sting's not your next Sammy Guevara.
Great.
I mean,
right.
You can't be excited. Come on.
I know. Like, be mad, but be consistent. That's all I ask for.
And again, kudos to them for not putting Sting right in the heavyweight championship picture like we're going to see Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos.
Right. Yes, I agree. But
I feel like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth.
We're also not saying that Sting won't get to an AEW title shot either.
Right.
Because we don't know if he will or not.
We don't.
So let's we'll reserve the reserve on that one. Ryan, I wanted to get we had thoughts. We were talking about it. We thought might as well.
So many thoughts. I had the greatest thoughts.
Might as well get on here and talk about it. So the people, they can of course follow you at RYN Eagle. They can follow me at Big Jim Sports, but follow the show. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Go to 3countthursday.com. That's the place to do it. Ryan, hope you have a great week, man. Hope you have a great Christmas.
Jim, I hope you do too. I hope you were nice and you get great presents from Santa Claus.
And you as well. And to all of our listeners, we hope that you have a great Christmas. Again, Thursday night, our Christmas holiday special will be dropping. So look for that. Make sure you're subscribed and are following us on all platforms. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin. Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?